Imagine the unthinkable, a playoff locker room so deathly quiet, the air thick with unspoken fury, as one passed ball unravels a team's unbreakable bond. What happened behind those closed doors after the Mariners' gut-wrenching 3-2 ALDS Game 1 loss to the Tigers on October 4, 2025, will leave you questioning everything about team loyalty. Smash that subscribe button on all sports updates for explosive sports revelations. The game unfolded like a nightmare scripted for maximum heartbreak. Seattle Mariners, riding high on a dominant regular season, faced off against the resilient Detroit Tigers in a pitcher's duel that promised fireworks. Cal Raleigh, the powerhouse catcher dubbed Big Dumper for his clutch home runs and ironclad defense, stood at the center of it all. Early innings saw Mariners ace Luis Castillo dealing heat, striking out batters with surgical precision, while the offense scratched out a slim lead with timely hits from Julio Rodriguez. But as the game wore on, tension mounted. In the pivotal seventh inning, with runners on base and the score tied, a sharp grounder slipped through the infield. Raleigh, positioned perfectly, framed the pitch flawlessly, or so it seemed. Then came the surprise. A wild pitch zipped past his glove, a passed ball that allowed two Tigers to score. The crowd gasped, teammates exchanged stunned glances, and the momentum shifted irreversibly. Castillo's shoulders slumped on the mound, and the dugout fell into a hush. Post-game analysis revealed Raleigh's framing metrics had been off all night, a subtle crack in his otherwise stellar performance. Insiders whispered that fatigue from carrying the team's offensive load, 61 homers in the season, had finally caught up. Fans in the stands sensed the unraveling, but no one predicted the storm brewing inside. As the final out sealed the defeat, players trudged off the field, faces etched with disbelief. Rodriguez, usually the energizer, avoided eye contact, while Polanco muttered under his breath about bullpen mismanagement. The loss wasn't just a game, it was a fracture point, exposing vulnerabilities in a squad built on grit. Raleigh, ever the leader, tried to rally with a quick huddle, but his words fell flat amid the growing silence. This debacle wasn't merely about one play, it was the culmination of mounting pressure from a grueling season, where every error amplified doubts. By the time they reached the clubhouse, the quiet had turned oppressive, a prelude to the chaos about to erupt online. Stepping into the locker room felt like entering a pressure cooker on the verge of explosion. The usual post-game chatter, jokes, music, even groans of defeat, was absent, replaced by an eerie stillness that sent chills down spines. Cal Raleigh stood alone by the door, microphone thrust at him by eager reporters, his face a mask of stoic resolve. But behind him, the team fractured. Julio Rodriguez and Jorge Polanco, key pillars of the lineup, reportedly locked horns over strategic calls, their voices rising in heated exchanges that echoed faintly through the walls. Blame swirled like smoke. Was it the bullpen's failure to hold the line, or Raleigh's defensive lapse that gifted those crucial runs? A surprise leak from a team source revealed Raleigh's hidden outburst, a fiery rant demanding accountability from everyone, including himself. He slammed his glove down, his voice cracking with emotion, accusing the group of complacency in high-stakes moments. Teammates froze, some nodding in agreement, others averting eyes in shame. The silence amplified every rustle, every sigh, turning the room into a tinderbox. Coaches intervened, trying to mediate, but the damage was done. Whispers spread that Raleigh's leadership, once unquestioned, now hung in the balance. His nickname Big Dumper, born from locker room banter about his powerful swings, suddenly felt ironic amid accusations of dumping the series lead. As media hovered outside, capturing Raleigh's terse no comment, the internal rift deepened. One anonymous player texted a friend, later shared online, "This could break us before Game 2. The meltdown wasn't loud explosions but suffocating quiet, where unspoken resentments festered. Fans outside chanted for unity, oblivious to the storm inside. This moment of surprise, Raleigh, the hero, becoming the scapegoat, shifted the narrative overnight, turning a single loss into a potential season derailer. The team's chemistry, forged through wins, now teetered on the edge, with every glance carrying weight. This is all sports updates diving deep into the drama. As the locker room doors stayed shut longer than usual, the outside world ignited. X lit up with hashtag Raleigh Rift trending worldwide, fans dissecting every frame of the eerie silence video that leaked moments after. Captured by a sneaky stadium worker, it showed Raleigh standing sentinel, his eyes distant, while shadows of arguing teammates danced on the walls. The surprise twist came when insiders dropped bombs, leaked audio snippets of Raleigh's rant, where he called out specific plays and players without mercy. Polanco's bullpen critique turned personal, accusing relievers of crumbling under pressure, while Rodriguez defended the youth in the squad, sparking a generational divide. Online sleuths connected dots to Raleigh's defensive stats, revealing a subtle decline in framing efficiency over the last month, a hidden vulnerability no one saw coming. Mariners brass scrambled into damage control mode, issuing vague statements about team unity, but the floodgates opened. Former players chimed in, some praising Raleigh's toughness, others questioning his captaincy. The fanbase split, loyalists rallied with hashtag #StandWithBigDumper, while critics flooded comments with memes of the past ball looping endlessly. This digital storm amplified the internal chaos, turning whispers into roars. Raleigh's MVP buzz, fueled by his record-breaking homers, took a hit as analysts debated if the meltdown signaled deeper issues. Surprise endorsements from rivals like Tigers players added fuel, praising Seattle's fight but hinting at overconfidence. Social media algorithms pushed the controversy to millions, with views skyrocketing on breakdown videos. The team's PR team worked overtime, but the narrative spun out of control. What started as a quiet locker room evolved into a public spectacle, exposing raw emotions and testing allegiances. As Game 2 loomed, the question hung heavy: could they rebound, or would this fracture prove fatal? The meltdown's ripple effects reached beyond the field, influencing betting odds and playoff predictions in shocking ways. The aftermath lingers like a bad dream, with the Mariners' playoff fate now uncertain. Cal Raleigh, once the unshakable force, faces scrutiny that could redefine his legacy. Teammates reconvened for emergency meetings, but trust erodes slowly, rebuilt even slower. The surprise revelation of Raleigh's private texts, leaked by an unknown source, showed his vulnerability, admitting doubt in his own performance for the first time. This humanized the big dumper but also exposed cracks in the facade. Fans mobilized rallies outside the stadium, chanting for redemption, while experts predicted a motivated bounce-back or total collapse. Polanco and Rodriguez publicly hugged it out in practice, but body language told a different story: tense shoulders, forced smiles. The organization's response, a closed-door session with a sports psychologist, aimed to mend bonds, yet whispers persist of potential trades if the series slips away. This debacle transcends one game, highlighting the fragility of team dynamics in October baseball. Raleigh's journey from hero to questioned leader adds layers of intrigue, drawing parallels to historic meltdowns that derailed dynasties. As the Tigers celebrated their upset, Seattle stewed, channeling fury into fuel, or so they hope. The next games will test if silence breeds strength or surrender. In this high-stakes drama, every pitch carries the weight of redemption, with surprises lurking in every inning. Will Raleigh silence doubters with a monster performance, or will the rift widen? The sports world watches, breath held, as the Mariners fight to rewrite their story. This is All Sports Updates. Stay locked for more.